Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how I view the U.S. after living out here in Mexico for 5 years. We're also going to be talking about how I view Mexico after living here for 5 years and all that good stuff, as you guys already know. So before we start on our walk and talk, because obviously you see I'm out here walking and we're talking, let me give you a little context as to where I am and let you know what I'm doing out here, and we'll go from there. So as you guys can see there, I'm at the mechanic. Well, that's what it says there. I'm at the muffler guy. I actually found a guy out there that works on classic cars and can help me with my truck. Yeah, that's right. I know I just bought a beat up old truck, but you know, at this point it's classic, and so you know, we got to work on the muffler, you know, so we can get that noise down. You know, we don't choke on all the fumes, because you know, me and Christian are constantly choking on the fumes as we're driving it around. And you know, we got to fix the radiator and stuff like that. We're also in el barrio de García Ginerés. All right, so we are in García Ginerés, and we're just gonna take a walk, you know, through the neighborhood and have a talk, and I'll show you the sights and we'll chill. Let's see what they got going on over here real quick before we head down. We're gonna actually head down that street. I checked it on Google Maps. I want to make sure I'm in the right spot. So there's music playing, so I'm just gonna show you here. So yeah, people out here just having breakfast. It's, you know, 9:30 in the morning. Buenos días. Yeah, I know that wasn't much of a walking and talking start, but I hope it was a nice start to your day. Nice quiet start to the day with a nice little music background. You really don't want to know what they were playing in the background. They were playing some really bad 90s music in the background. You might still be able to catch it a little bit here and there. But yeah, I had to unfortunately put some other music there, and I couldn't chat. People were being nice and saying hi and all that good stuff. Hopefully I got some good footage. You know, I wasn't trying to look too much like a tourist. Okay. So back to where we are and what we're doing here. Yeah, so out here, you know, right now we're in the barrio García Ginerés, and we're just going to be walking down this street. Hopefully it's the right direction. I'll let you know in a minute, and we'll see where we end up. We'll see where we end up. It'll be a surprise at the end of the video. Don't be skipping ahead, all right? So again, it's still early on in the morning, 9:30 in the morning. People are starting to wake up, open up their businesses, or go to work, or whatever it is they got to do. You know, I think the kids are already, you know, off in school, in class, all that good stuff. But again, today's video, you know, why you tuned into today's video, or at least I think this is why you tuned in, is that you wanted to know how I view the USA these days, how I view it 5 years later after leaving the USA, and how I view Mexico. I mean, we're going to talk about that too. Obviously, you guys know I love it out here every single day. I love it more and more and more. You know, just being able to get to do what I get to do, which again, even if I wasn't doing YouTube videos, I would just have some, you know, crappy online job to just work a few hours a week in order to make the same amount of money I'm making on YouTube right now and get me by. Because, you know, again, you know, I was lucky enough to find an awesome, you know, wife, a partner out here, you know, that you know, we're in the same wavelength and we're just living our lives and enjoying life. But I digress. How I view the US, you know, after so many years being out here and being so disconnected, you know, from everything going on over there, outside of, you know, family talking to me, or some of you guys that I meet and we talk and we discuss some of these things. Look how nice. That's a nice house. I wonder who lives there. What should be like the governor and stuff, right? That'd be cool as hell. Anyways, you know, honestly, you know, for some of you guys that have been following me for a very long time, you guys already know that when I left the USA, I could not wait to get the heck out of Dodge. And you know, it was like leaving prison. I don't know what else to say, you know what I mean? Like I know most of you guys have never been to prison, and I mean prison, not jail. You know, I've never been to really like to prison or whatever, but you know, imagine getting like released. All right, we're going in the right direction. Yay. I'm just giving you a little sight. So this nice little quiet neighborhood, money neighborhood, old money neighborhood, you know, FYI. But yeah, I felt like escaping, like when I was, you know, just not escaping, getting released from prison, but almost like escaping from prison, because I mean, yeah, actually more like escaping from prison. All right, that's how I felt, all right, to be honest. And you know, I wasn't looking forward to going back anytime soon, and it's not like I'm looking for, it's not like I'm looking to, you know, book my ticket, you know, to go back, you know, to the US for anything or anytime soon either. But my views have changed, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you know, there is a lot of things that are going on in the world, and you know, like it or not, you know, the US is going through its issues, but it's still number one. And there's a lot of things that are, you know, going to determine that going forward. But at the end of the day, you know, living out here has just made me make peace with the US being the ultimate master superpower. And it is what it is. You know, honestly, I really don't care. Why? Because I live in Mexico now, and I'm so disconnected from all that. I got my own life out here, and it's the best thing ever. So, you know, how do I really view the things in the USA? Oh man, honestly, again, not surprising. Anyone that's been watching me long enough already, not surprising. You remember when the pandemic started and all that stuff started? You know, again, if you guys were watching me back then and watching my other channels and stuff, again, it wasn't a surprise to me. Nothing was a surprise to me. I used to talk about these things all the time. Man, these are some nice houses. I'm sorry if I'm going back and forth with the camera here. It's just, these are some, I've never been through here, so some nice homes. But anyways, as I was saying, you know, it wasn't a surprise to me as everything developed and everything happened. And you know, sure enough, you know, so many years later, you know, a lot of us were proven right with what happened. But again, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the fact that when the crap hit the fan, when it really got bad, man, Mexico was a really nice place to be in. And I was watching everything deteriorate in the USA. I mean, come on, you know, people were literally killing each other for toilet paper. I don't know what else to say. And you know, that wasn't happening out here. Sure, we had pockets of a few people here and there, maybe, you know, in some more Americanized cities or in areas that are a little bit more yeah, just Americanized or what have you. But for them in the world, I mean, sorry, in Mexico, okay, just in all of Mexico, but for the most part, in most of Mexico, it wasn't even like that at all. Everybody just survived. Everybody, you know, basically everything I'm always talking about, like you know, when the crap is gonna hit the fan, the things that you really are gonna need, you know, it's not just like food and water, it's things like community, it's things like, you know, being able to get along with your neighbor, having useful skills that you can, again, you know, all, you know, that you can offer up and barter with, you know. And anyways, long story short, you guys know, you guys can go back and watch my old videos if you're interested. But that was something that was, you know, very alive and well and prevalent out here. And you know, when I would see, you know, and I'm still seeing, you know, the rest of the world deteriorate, I don't see that here at all. See the complete opposite. Look, yes, there's violence in the north of Mexico and in certain areas of Mexico. And yes, you know, again, I talk to regular Mexicans that have moved to Merida, that where I live right now, you know, that have moved specifically to this area and where I am right now, in the country, only because of how safe it really is out here. And you know, I hear horror stories of you know, the things that have happened to other people in other parts of Mexico, just like I hear horror stories of all the things that have happened to, you know, so many Americans, you know, and why they're here. And you know, for those of you guys that know my story, by the way, I know I keep saying back to, you know, my story, I'm going to link it at the end of this video. So if you're still watching this and you're interested and you want to see my story and you don't know about me, I will link it at the end of this one so you guys can see it, get more context. But, you know, for most of you guys, you know that, you know, I was just an American living the American dream in a sense, you know, living my life. And then one day, before you know it, I lost it all. And then, you know, a few bad breaks here and there, and before you know it, you know, I was probably, you know, living on the street or living in the car. I never got to that point, you know. Before I got to that point, I decided to come to Mexico, but I was that close. And so my decision of coming out here was simply to avoid, you know, having to live on the street or, you know, living them out of my car. Because even if I was living that life, I still had to work, I still had to produce, and I was like, this ain't no life. This is barely sustainable as is right now, renting a room in some guy's house. How's it gonna be sustainable, you know, out of my car or living in a tent? So, you know, I decided to put my noggin together, and I ended up out here. And I saw the writing on the wall a long time before that, but it wasn't until that moment in my life and that I had to choose between living in the street or coming out here that I finally made it to come out here. Because years prior, just like you guys, you know, I would watch, not videos, but I would just, you know, just constantly in the back of my mind, oh, I want to leave the country. Oh, I got to get out of here. Oh, I need to get me a second passport. Oh, you know, this is not, you know, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? All of these things. And eventually I didn't have a choice, you know. I just, again, it was either the street, you know, get back to the streets like a rat, you know, or whatever, you know, or a dog, you know, stray dog, or simply, you know, just again come out to the Mexican streets and learn how to play with the Mexican dogs out here. And so I said, you know what, let me just come out here to Mexico. And I did, and it was a success. It wasn't easy. It was very, very, very difficult, even for someone that knows the language. But it was done. It was still a lot easier than living on the street and living, you know, in a car or whatever other life. Again, even if I was living in a room, living in a, you know, regular, you know, kind of residential type situation, and still had to deal with a crappy job and a crappy this. And by the way, a lot of you guys are like, oh, Jose, I don't know what you're talking about. I reached the American dream. I'm a millionaire. I'm a this, I'm a that. And the thing is that, yeah, I get that. But remember, as Americans, we're fed this thing called the American dream, meaning, hey, you can do and be anything you want. And I did that, you know, I did that multiple times. And didn't always pan out. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't, but it gave me the freedom to be able to do that. And then it got to the point where I didn't have that freedom anymore, and I just had to be a wage slave and, you know, live in the most horrid conditions ever, in order to just even have that. And I said to myself, no thanks, I'm out of here. Let's go on an adventure. Let's see what happens. And here I am. You know, and again, as an American, you know what I mean? How do I view the U.S. after, you know, all these years? You know, well, it's surprising to say the least. But at the same time, it's not that surprising. Oh man, I think I lost something. I lost my rag. I was looking for my sweat rag and I lost it. It's because it's hot. Yes, at 10 in the morning, it's like 90 something degrees. But anyways, I digress. But how do I view it? You know, again, it's not surprising that it turned into a more totalitarian state. It's not surprising at all that it turned into what it has become today. Again, I saw the writing on the wall even before that. Man, I can't even say names here because I don't want to get censored. But I guess the former president, the one that got elected in 2016, even before that, I saw the writing on the wall, you know, when Obama was around and all these other things. And again, I just never pulled the trigger, just out of fear. But at the end of the day, when my back was up against the wall and I have a choice, and to, you know, to pull the trigger, I did. And sure enough, you know, the best decision I ever made. But, you know, how is the U.S. these days? You know, that is the question. And so the thing is, I think most of you guys already know, because a lot of the content that I used to talk about, you know, I used to let you guys by the way, I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just randomly just walking around here, so hopefully there's no dead ends. But as I was saying, a lot of the content that I talk about now and talk about these days, it's really surprising to me that it's something that you guys want to hear these days, because I remember not too long ago making videos like this, not just on my channel but any channel, when I really get that many views per se, you know, or that much interest. Nobody cared about inflation. Nobody cared about, you know, thinking about these Alex Jones theories, conspiracy theories, or, you know, what could happen or this or that. At the end of the day, it doesn't even matter who was right or wrong. I think we can all agree things aren't right. And, you know, most people are looking for some sort of solution. And the reality is that the solution most people want is just peace and quiet, and to live their life and enjoy their life and not have to worry about things that are not going to affect them one way, you know, shape, form, or another, really. Okay, I think this way. Let me look at the map as I walk. And so that's the thing, you know, honestly, you know, it's just interesting that today things have just gotten worse and worse and worse. It's all right, sorry, just making sure I know where I'm going here, but things have just gotten worse and worse and worse. And it's just not, you know, not surprising to me anymore, you know, to tell you the truth, you know, to see where things are going. In fact, I really do hope that things do turn around, but it's not like they're going to turn around tomorrow or anytime soon. In the meantime, I'm out here in Mexico. In the meantime, you know, I'm out here, you know, enjoying my life and living my life while everybody sorts their stuff out. Because that's where we're at now, you know. Right now the US is at that polarizing moment. You know, I don't think there's going to be a World War III. I think it's going to be more like some sort of Cold War type of situation, same as it ever was. And then, you know, as it comes to what's going to happen in the USA, you know, there's going to be some sort of change, some sort of revolution, some sort of something. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be anytime soon. You know, meaning it's not going to be in the next month or two, but it's down the line, not too far down the line. We don't know when it's going to happen, but that's what I think is going to happen. You know, some sort of revolution, whether it's left, right, up, or down, it's going to happen. And we don't know who's going to be in power, and we don't know what's going to happen with all that. See, that dog is not happy about it, because he knows that if the US goes down, the rest of the world gets hurt too. You know, it's all, you know, it's one big happy family in a sense. And this is going to be really weird and interesting to see it all continue to develop. But out here, I haven't had to really, you know, worry too much. You know, all I've really had to do is just, you know, sit out here and enjoy my life and disconnect. In fact, I've talked, you know, to many people out there that know me very well. You know, I got my friends, my family, and they know that as each day goes on, I care less and less about all these outside world events. Because when you're living in a place where you're at peace, you know, not just the environment and everything, you know, around you, you know, where you surround yourself with, but when you're at inner peace, you know, you're just at peace, and you're at inner peace because, again, you know, you're not dealing with all the stresses of that life that they try to shove down your throat in the USA. But anyways, the point I'm making is that now, you know, I'm spending more time on things like, I don't know, watching sports, I don't know, reading a book, I don't know, just enjoying life. You know, hey, I'm working on the car, been working on the car a lot. You know, shout out to Greg out there, you know, my monster head mechanic that has been so helpful, so helpful. Are you kidding me, man? You know, soon we're gonna have a lot more car videos as we get this bad boy back out of the shop. But long story short, by the way, I know you guys are saying, oh, he's such a great mechanic, why you just leave the truck at the mechanic? Well, because it's a big job that, you know, we cannot do. We don't have a lift, we don't have a well, so we're putting it out there to get it done. All right, now what? Oh boy, I don't know where I'm going. But anyways, all right, let me look at the map. But like I was saying, you know, out here, you get to really live that American dream. And I think it's this way. And this is why I'm here, because if I really want to, I get to just live my life. I get to just fish enough for one day, or I get to fish enough for multiple days and sell the extra fish and do whatever I want. You know, depending on how I wake up or how I feel will depend on my productivity that day or what have you, you know, as opposed to, you know, what the machine dictates. And you know, that freedom, you know, I was talking to my friend the other day, talking about that freedom, that concept of freedom, that it's funny, man, like how some of you guys get it as soon as I'm talking about freedom. You guys definitely get it, and some of you guys just don't get it and will never get it, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But for those of you guys that, and again, everybody has a different a different conception or a different idea of what freedom is, what real freedom is, and people constantly confuse that. And so in the US, you know, right now, you know, well, in the US, a country of freedom, that created freedom and all that stuff, now has become a country that is not so free anymore. And so as a real American, because that's what I consider myself, as a true real American, born and raised in the USA, out of immigrant parents, you know, realizing the American dream, my parents realizing the American dream, all that good stuff. And at the end of the day, doing all that stuff, you know, and then really just understanding and knowing that I don't have that anymore in the USA. I have no real way to attain it anymore. And then I come out here to a place like Mexico, and it's very easily attained. In fact, it's just here waiting for you as soon as you get off the plane. And you know, to me, you know, that's something that is invaluable, and the main reason why I love it here. And at the same time, you know, when people ask me, you know, how do I view the US these days, I view it in worse conditions than when I left it. I see it as a place that has lost all its freedoms even more. I thought that we had a lot of freedom still left, and that I knew we lost them all. But then when I came to another country, literally another country, this is Avenida Colón, by the way. Nice. So Paseo Montejo's right over there. We're gonna walk that way, might as well, we're already here. But anyways, when I realized out here, after living out here, that we have this thing called freedom still alive and well out here in Mexico, there was no replacing that. Can I cross or no? So yeah, sorry, that bus there, you know, it's going back and forth. Anyways, whatever, man. The point I'm making is that, you know, all this new stuff coming up, building. That's always like, you know, they repaved the roads. They've been repaving the roads all over the city. But again, just going back to, you know, what I was saying, you know, the freedom aspect, you know, that's the thing. That's why that's really the main difference on the US these days. You know, how I view it after living in Mexico is the fact that we have absolutely no freedoms left in the USA. Yeah, there are some freedoms, you know, don't get me wrong. The Second Amendment, you know, is alive and well. And you know, out here it's not the same when it comes to that. And there's other things, you know, that are still very alive and well, thank God, you know. But long story short, yeah, sorry, I was showing you that way, just showing you here this way. We're just gonna walk to Paseo Montejo, might as well. Go around this guy here. Always go behind the car, always, never go in front of a car, ever. Anyways, it's a freedom thing, you know, like the whole thing of like the fact that, you know, there's tons of freedom out here. And for anyone that's an American, a real American, a true American that really understands and knows what freedom is, well, guess what? You know what I mean? You're gonna find it alive and well out here, and you're gonna love it. But if you still don't understand, you know, this guy's building a little wall there. If you still don't understand you know, the concept of true freedom, then this is why a lot of people that come out here just don't love it or don't get it, and they get always complaining, you know, how come that guy building that wall in front of a business, in front of a cop, doesn't have a permit, and he's just some dude that builds walls and he doesn't have all these licenses and all these this and that. Let's use the crosswalk over here. Let's be a good citizen. But long story short, it's things like that. By the way, there's no jaywalking or anything like that here. It's for safety, and also just to show you, you know. But yeah, so we're making our way down Paseo Montejo. But yeah, long story short, guys, you know what I mean? It's you know, how do I view it? I view it as a less free country, a country that has lost its freedoms, lost its way. You know, everything going on right now, you know, whether it's all the way on the Uber right or Uber left, it is so insane how polarizing things have gotten. So insane how everyone has just digged themselves, their heels deeper into whatever they're believing in. Again, it doesn't matter what you're left, right. All right, guys, we're back. All right, so yeah, we were just taking a little break over there, sitting on the stoop in the shade, you know, cooling down. It's very hot, and cooling down the camera as well. You guys already know, it gets so hot, the camera, the GoPro, notorious for heating up, you know, cannot handle the heat out here. Yeah, I know there's solutions like getting a little fan and all this other stuff, but then you won't be able to hear my beautiful voice. But anywho's, let's get back to what I was saying. So yeah, you know, these days I really don't recognize the USA anymore because of how far, you know, again, right, left, up, down, you know, in every direction it's gone. But you know, knowing my history, knowing the direction that everything has to go in and play out in order for things to get better, well, things have to get worse first. And that is a sad reality that a lot of people, you know, don't want to admit. It's a sad reality that a lot of people just don't want to accept and don't want to deal with. And the longer that people go on without dealing with this or confronting these things, you know, the longer it's going to go on. And in the current atmosphere that we have in the USA right now, it's not going to get any better anytime soon. It's only going to get worse and worse and worse until somebody eventually wins out. And who's that going to be? We don't know. Start placing your bets. But something's going to happen. And hopefully, what is it? Hopefully, what's the word I'm looking for? Better heads prevail? Is that it? Or, oh look, construction. You see a construction worker doing construction and they're lifting up a beam. I don't know, hopefully you guys can see it. Interesting, a lot of growth and building up. So again, we're just a few blocks down to Paseo Montejo. We're in the area that is a very touristy area, which is Fiesta Americana, which is coming up right now. But anyways, so yeah, you know, that's just gonna happen. And you know, for anyone that knows their history, that has followed my channel long enough, and knows the things that I've talked about in the past, know again why I don't talk about these things anymore is because nobody listens. But long story short, some countries are going to prosper and other countries are going to have some sort of a dark age or some sort of a, you know, downturn. It's just it's a cycle, man. It's the same as it ever was. You know, some countries are a little bit more protected from this than others. You know, again, the USA is going to have its down times, but I think that other countries out there, you know, let's say China, Russia, whatever, you know, they're going to do a lot worse. You know, most of Europe is going to do a lot worse. You know, so there's going to be, you know, a lot of other developed countries. I think, you know, the Europe and the first world is going to do the worst, and then, you know, meaning Europe, Canada, maybe Australia, all that, really they're going to do the worst. We're already seeing it. We're seeing it. You know, I'm not at this point. It's already old news. By the way, I used to live around here. So interesting to walk my former steps again. I love coming back to my old neighborhood. Anyways, long story short, those are going to do the worst. Then the USA and other countries like the USA, which I think there's only one, just the USA. But then that's it. And then everybody else, most countries are going to start prospering. There's many countries that are not just going to prosper, but they're currently prospering. They're only going to prosper more, and so on and so forth. And this is one of those countries. You know, this is one of those areas that's going to be constantly prospering and doing very, very, very well. And again, I've mentioned it in a few of my previous videos, and I'm going to keep mentioning it because it's you know, I'm going to keep showing you guys. But long story short, you know, Mexico and the gentrification that's coming, a lot of it is being done by other Mexicans. And you know, a lot of people just don't want to admit it, or they're not you know, they're not, you know, up to the current news when it comes to, you know, how much more most Mexicans are making these days. And it's funny because a lot of people tell me, oh, but the government blah 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 says this number. Yeah, those are the people that pay taxes. Again, if you know anything about Mexico, you know it's not like that at all. You know, and if you want to pay taxes, you can go on ahead and pay them. And in fact, you know, again, if you need to pay them, if you're one of those people that needs to pay your taxes, pay them. But you know, there's a big misconception as to how and who needs to actually pay taxes and when and all that good stuff. As I love seeing, you know, other foreigners, expats, you know, out there fighting in the groups or forcing, you know, people to pay taxes, you know, that don't need to pay taxes. You know, again, it is interesting, you know, how these are some of the customs that they bring over here, you know, that from the first world that they're trying to implement here, but the people are not going to have it. There's a lot of customs like that. So you know, people are here not fans of taxes. They're not fan of banks. They're not fans of corporations. They're not fans of these power structures. You know, they're fans of sovereignty. They're fans of you know, being free. They're fans of you know, all these things that used to make America great at one point. I can't even say that. You see, I say that and a lot of people just automatically think one thing or the other. It's like wearing a red hat. I can't even wear a red hat anymore. I can't even wear a red shirt anymore. You see, look, I'm wearing a blue shirt now. And by the way, oh my God, no, this blue shirt doesn't mean what it means. Oh my God, stop looking at me, please. You're embarrassing me. Stop it. I should have worn a white shirt, honestly. It's so hot. That would have helped a lot with the sun. So yeah, anyways. Yeah, I try to do comedy sometimes and it never works. But I really appreciate you guys that do find me funny. That helps encourage me to keep doing more. Anyways, so you know, this is the whole Fiesta Americana area, you know, which is just a super touristy place. Nothing wrong with it. You know, I've had family members stay out here, good friends stay out here. You know, there's all kinds of experiences. I mean, honestly, if I was traveling out here and Airbnbs are way too expensive, I would definitely just stay at you know, the Holiday Inn or the, you know, or the one of these hotels, you know, just because it's a lot more cheaper. Oh, thank you. No, it's okay. Muchas gracias. Yeah. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you.
This is my work, my family.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh.
This hat I make in the cave.
Here, let's yeah. How well do you speak English? Very well?
Ajá.
Yeah?
En la calle.
Ah, okay. No, pero muchas gracias. Yo hago videos, yo vivo aquí. Pero, tú siempre estás aquí, ¿verdad?
Siempre estamos por acá.
Okay, so he's always here. All right, so come buy a hat from him because I'm not gonna buy a hat. I already have like 10 hats, but come visit him and buy a hat. He's out here hustling and, you know, again, exuding freedom. Okay, muchas gracias. Okay, but yeah, the true freedom of Mexico. You know, just again, you're out here in this whole area, super hotel zone, super everything, and you can sell hats, you can sell food, you can sell whatever. You know what I mean? Again, as long as you're not really impeding on the business. Which again, most of the time, again, you're in Mexico, and if you're working at the Holiday Inn or you're working at whatever hotel is over there or the other hotel, by the way, there's a bunch of exchange places, everything touristy you need is here. But long story short, why would they be bothered by something like that? That's part of Mexico, and so like, oh, automatically they look at it more like a tourist attraction. It's like, oh yeah, of course, as soon as you get out of the area, as soon as you come down from the hotel, you already got a guy that can sell you a hat and is very friendly, super nice. You can rent a bicycle. You got the touristy Paseo Montejo right there, and I could go on and on. You know, it is very different. You know, where like in a place like the U.S., you know, they might be calling the cops on a guy like that for loitering or whatever, you know, or illegal commerce or whatever they want to, you know. And so that guy that has no license, no permit, no nothing. But it's just, again, the things like that they used to be okay in the USA. You used to be able to sell lemonade on the street. You can't sell lemonade no more without getting, you know, somebody knocking down your lemonade stand. And again, it's not just a business, but it's just a way of life. How people don't get in your, you know, they're not constantly, you know, bothering you with things. They're not constantly attacking you with things. They're not constantly in your face with things. It's just peaceful and quiet, and a lot of respite. I don't know if that's the right word for that moment there, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So again, look guys, we're at the famous Paseo Montejo. All right, this is that area right there where Walmart is right there. We're gonna walk down this way. This street we used to walk down every day, multiple times, you know, a week, through my episodes, my very early episodes when I used to live out here in this area. And it's changed a lot. They've added bike lanes, you know, they've added better structures, you know, when it comes to, you know, again, the roundabout and the lights and the this and the action, camera action, whatever. Anyways, and this lot's still empty in case anyone wants to buy and set up a hotel here. Let me know. All right. No, I don't know anything about this property, but it's always empty. It's, in fact, I think someone's going to do something here because this is the first time I've really been able to see this lot. So I guess they're going to build something here already. All right. Anyways, or not. We'll see. The point is that at the end of the day, guys, we're going to have to start wrapping this up. Ooh-wee, is it hot. Sure got my workout in this morning. That's good. So, all right, guys, as I was saying before I got rudely interrupted by the camera overheating again. Yeah, we're out here on Paseo Montejo, my old stomping grounds. Things have changed a lot, just like things have changed in the US and things have changed in Mexico. And in the same 5 years that I've been here, in which the US has deteriorated and has gone downhill, because I don't know what else to say, Mexico has gone uphill and is doing better and better and better each and every day. And it's amazing. It's just amazing to see the growth, to see how things are thriving out here, how things are awesome out here, as opposed to, you know, what's going on in the USA, you know, my own home country, which is just sad and disappointing. And I could go on and on, which with how I really feel, you know, about that, you know what I mean? And it's just, in fact, I choose not to, and I choose to focus on other things and focus on the here, the now, focus on the things that I can control as opposed to the things that I cannot control, and just try to enjoy life and live life as best I can. Because the reality is that, like I was saying, things are only going to get worse. They're not going to get any better anytime soon. Again, it's in the US, and most of us know that already. Some of us are in denial, some of us are not. And that's it, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's what are you going to do? You know, are you going to just sit there and pout, or are you going to sit there and try to make something work that's not working? Or are you going to change something about it, you know, about your life? Are you going to make that change that's needed? Are you going to finally, you know, bite that bullet like I had to and make that transition out here? Oh, look, the e-bikes I was telling you about. So I guess a lot of those e-bikes and scooters have never worked in the US. They probably just brought them over here and repurposed them. Who knows? Anyways, is that guy supposed to be running in the bike lane? Not quite sure. Just curious. I don't know. People are still trying to figure things out here. Anyways, that's the beauty of it too. People are still trying to figure things out here in whatever shape, form, or another you want to, you know, look at it. And I'd rather be here. I'd rather be here in a young country. I'd rather be here in a vibrant country. I'd rather be in a place that has a lot, you know, a lot going for it. It has a big future coming up for it, and a lot of it has to do with its people. And you can come out here and help that growth and help, you know, all that. But at the same time, you know what I mean? You could just stay home and see if you can fix that situation out there. It is what it is. Look, I know a lot of people back in the US that have an amazing situation. Hola. We get some hammocks from this guy. All right. But anyways, I know a lot of you know, Americans in the US, you know, or Canada, wherever, you know, you guys are doing great. You guys are doing wonderful, and you see no need to come out here. You know, maybe you look at this place like an inversion. Investing, you know, something to invest in. I need coffee, all right? That's what I need. Or a vacation home or what have you. But some people are looking like me, you know, like to escape, is looking for a better life, man. That's all it is. And everyone has a different version of that. Again, my sister, my family, I know a lot of people out there that think I'm crazy, and they don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing and living like this. but I am, and it is what it is. And so with that being said, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this bad boy up, because otherwise I can just go on, and I'm gonna end up at my house if I keep doing this, because I mean, you know, I'm like another half an hour, 45-minute walk from my house, but I don't think I have enough memory on my memory card left. All right, it's because I fried my former one, and now I'm using an old SIM card, and I'm waiting for that to come in the mail. All right, whatever, too much information. By the way, shout out to everyone out there that has shout out to everyone out there that's a patron. Shout out to everyone out there that sends a few bucks here and there, helps, you know, support the show. Because when I've had to replace like the memory card, you know, when I've had to like replace the memory card or replace other things, you know, for, oh look, people are using it for the show. I bought some new equipment so that I can start filming at night, yada yada yada. It's all because of you guys. All right, all of you guys help me out so much in one shape, form, or another. Again, like Greg helps me out with the car. A lot of you guys help me out with so many other things, you know, that when you guys provide, you know, a donation here or there, you guys ask me a question for me to answer on Thursday. Whatever it is you guys are doing, you know, you guys help not just me, but help the community, and we're constantly growing. And, you know, hopefully, again, building a community here that we can all be proud of and constantly help each other, all right? With, again, you know, information and knowledge on how to, you know, do whatever it is you got to do. So with all that being said, guys, you already know the deal. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit that bell icon. But more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. Thank you so much for everything. Thanks for all the support. Love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.